He's going all the way. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Texas Tech takes home the victory.
All right, we are here on a Thursday morning. Welcome to the Broadway Shuffle with Conrad and Zyler. I am Brennan. No Clayton today. If this is your first time here, there are normally four of us, but today we are just here with Zyler, Conrad, and Brennan. If this is your first time at the Broadway Shuffle, thank you for tuning in. You are joining what we believe is the only Texas Tech podcast that'll give you live player interviews every Monday and live reactions as well as previews like this one. So make sure to subscribe, follow on all of our social media channels, and download Texas Tech Plus as well. We are on there. A lot of cool content coming out from Texas Tech as well. So we appreciate you tuning in. We are going to get to Texas Tech playing at home against Kent State this Saturday. What you need to know about Kent State and some storylines for the game. We'll do our predictions around the Big 12 as well too. But first, Z, I'll go to you, man. What's the first word of the episode?
Yeah, we're going to talk North Carolina real quickly. I don't know that I've ever seen more hype for a spectacular dud. That Bill Belichick squad had no business being in that game. It looked like it looked like Arkansas Pine Bluff had transported themselves to Chapel Hill, thrown on the baby blue, and were playing the TCU Horned Frogs. They just had absolutely no business being in that game. And credit to TCU for taking care of business. They've been around a media circus before. The Colorado came to town one year, and it didn't go well for the Horned Frogs, but man, that North Carolina team's in for a long season. We said it on the episode, and we're not an ACC podcast, so don't expect much ACC content here. But that roster was never going to be good enough to really compete in the ACC, and anybody that was hoping for that to happen was wish casting for the most part. So, man, tough for ESPN, and then banking on North Carolina being their cash cow this year. But funny to watch Bill Belichick fall flat on his face. It was a really entertaining spectacle Monday night.
Yeah, if it was a Sunday night episode, we probably would be having him as a Tommy Tuberville. Maybe we'll get to him Sunday as well. It might be so bad. Who knows what will happen on Saturday with North Carolina as well. Conrad, Kent State comes into Lubbock. You're fresh off a 67-7 win against Arkansas Pine Bluff, like Z just mentioned. Where is Kent State? Do you know what state Kent State University is in?
I do not. I'm just going to be real honest for the listeners.
Wow.
I do not know where they are.
Okay,
I don't know
Zyler,
where they are.
Okay, Conrad, let's give them three state options.
If I told you Kent State was in Kentucky, Tennessee, or Ohio, what are you taking?
Ohio.
That is correct. They are in Ohio.
So I did know. I did know.
There you
I was
go.
just messing with you guys. All of our listeners, I know where Kent State is. No disrespect to Kent State. I know you guys where you guys are. And
wait, you knew the whole
I'm
time?
really excited.
I believed you.
Huh?
I believed you. I thought you didn't know. You were lying.
I don't know.
I mean, all those years. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I did guess right. So did I know? Did I not know? I don't.
Looked it up.
Hey, it's all for the. Hey, I'm not looking anything up. My hands right here. My iPad's right there. My phone's right there. My computer's right here. I didn't look at anything. I just went through the Rolodex in my mind, and I was like, okay, no, honestly, the reason I picked Ohio is because I remember so often
you didn't know.
Kent State plays Ohio State pretty often from my memory. At least I remember them doing that. And so I thought, well, let's go with Ohio from there. So it was deep. It was buried deep in my subconscious, but it was there somewhere. So I did know. Okay. I just didn't know I knew.
All right. Well, Kent State in Ohio, they are the Golden Flashes, known for black squirrels. Didn't know this, but I was doing some research on Kent State today, known for black squirrels around campus. This team, Z, last year, worst team in 2024 in total offense and defense. So arguably the worst Division I football team in the country last year. What do we need to know about them this year? Any changes? Their interim head coach? What do we need to know on a high level about Kent State as they make their way into Lubbock on Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be, I tell you what, though, it's going to look night and day different from what we saw last week. That Pine Bluff team truly was just not up to speed. They were not ready for Texas Tech, and they didn't need to be on that field. They're actually better than they were last year, which, like you said, incredibly low bar to clear. Not something that we're definitely going to be beating the drum. But they are not the worst team in FBS this year. They're actually up to, and I'm trying to count it right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are worse than them so far this year. So
Okay.
good on Kent State making improvements. We're happy to see that. Really, this should be another team that you roll. I think the line's at almost 50 points again. This is a team that is better than Arkansas Pine Bluff, but it's marginal. They'll be bigger, and I think that's something that you'll notice. You'll at least have some size that you're going to have to contend with, at least on the offensive lines and defensive lines. They're going to run a guy. It'll be either C.J. Montez or Drew DeShields at quarterback. I like this. I think they're going to be pretty athletic, and they're going to be mobile guys that'll help you prepare for, spoiler alert, what I think is going to be the biggest game of the Big 12 season. Utah at Big 12, setting up to be an absolute class of Titans. But it'll help you a little bit with that. And then really the best player on their team is, in my mind, from what I watched of their game when they played Merrimack, first win that they've had in almost 700 days, just so you know.
Wow.
Jamon Mathis, 6'3", 245 off the edge. He had 5 hurries last week against Merrimack. He'll be a good test for your tackles. I'll be interested to see if you're trying to watch for something, look for where he lines up and see how Jacob Ponton or Howard Sampson does against him. It'll easily be their biggest test so far, and you'd love to see a really good performance from your tackles.
Yeah, Conrad, a game like this coming off of what was more of a glorified scrimmage against Pine Bluff, you'd like to see some competition. You kind of get some, I guess, adversity before the Utah game. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. What storylines are you really looking out for here against Kent State?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun game again. It's just it's one of those things where you're still in the days of football is back. We're so excited. I mean, NFL starts tonight. Football is back in full swing, and I'm kind of enjoying, honestly, the fact that we're having 2 games like this to start the year. And so for me, biggest thing, I'm not worried about winning this game at all. I think the talent is we're going to win this game. If I was a betting man, I'd bet a lot of money that we would win this game. I don't know how, honestly, so I'm not going to. But at the same time, I think looking at Kent State and the 11 a.m. kick on Saturday, you just want to come out healthy. Truly, I know that maybe sounds like really boring, but after what we saw with Barron on Saturday, and I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more later in the episode, and then, even with Dingle, I just don't want to be sitting here on Monday morning having a conversation of, so-and-so got hurt, so-and-so pulled a hamstring, so-and-so did this. It's just just get out of the game healthy, win by 50 plus, and make sure that it looks smooth. And I think we talked about that before the Pine Bluff game. Does it look smooth? It absolutely did. But will it again this week? And so I'll be looking for those things. But the biggest thing for me is just no injuries. And I don't want to give off that negative vibe here on the Broadway Shuffle. But at the same time, we just got to say that because that is something that we do have to consider with going into a football game, which is a physical sport.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Conrad. You want to come out healthy. You want to play well. I'd love to see 42-0 by halftime, and it's all right. It's Will Hammond. It's Mitch Griffiths, which we don't even know yet. They haven't even announced if Barron's going to play yet, so we might date ourselves. I imagine that injury report comes out at the time of this recording, which is Wednesday night. I imagine Barron's going to be somewhere between questionable and probable. My gut's telling me that he plays. Just the word and kind of the vibe, especially if you listen to Leftwich's press conference. He said Barron's already feeling a lot better than he did yesterday, and that was on Monday. And so if that was the case, I expect, and they want him to go. I thought Joey had a great comment on this with Barron. It's you want him to be healthy, but at the same time, it's you can't just sit the guy and expect him to be ready to play. And we don't want to overlook Oregon State, but you don't want his first real live reps to be in Salt Lake City against Utah. You want to get him out there, get him chemistry with the offensive line, get him chemistry with the receivers, and there's risk in that. But I think that's how you have to approach it. There's no way you could just sit Barron the next 2 games and say, all right, we'll play you when Big 12 season starts. There's no way you can do that.
There's going to be a lot of people, though, that'll say, why play him? Why risk it against Kent State? You could play Will, probably still win pretty easily by 30 or 40 points. If you play Barron, maybe he's only playing a half. Why risk it if he had his knee? What do you say to those people? Why should Barron play and get the reps? What's the benefit of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this goes back to the spring. So Barron didn't get to do any live spring reps. He was injured with the shoulder surgery, didn't get to throw with his receivers, got cleared sometime in June, July. This is an offense that he's thrown live for maybe 60 to 90 days. We all know this, and you could see if you're on Red River Sports, there's breakdowns where Barron did really good in a lot of areas. He missed some stuff in that game, like that touchdown to Terrence Carter. Reggie Virgil was wide open. He didn't have to thread that needle. He could have thrown a rainbow for a touchdown for Reggie, but he made the tougher throw. And so there's stuff that helps with live reps. There's just nothing that compares to that. And you can't just wait and play your guys in games that you think are important. He's got to get out there. And I know there's risk with everybody. The other question is, why play Howard Sampson? If he's so important, your left tackle, why should he play against Kent State if you're worried about him getting hurt? It's football. That's part of it.
That's a good point.
But if he's 85%, I doubt they're going to push and say, yeah, Barron, get out there. If he's got any sort of lingering injury where he's not able to move and protect himself, he's not going to play. But if he's good to go and he's willing to give it a go, I absolutely think he should play.
So, Conrad, how should Texas Tech approach this if Barron doesn't play? Or if you're assuming Texas Tech 47-point favorite, they tend to be pretty right. I mean, it was, 59.5 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. He went by 60. So I think the odds makers know, and the spread, they know what they're doing here. Why, if Barron doesn't go, what do you expect the game plan to be with Will? And how should Texas Tech approach another potential blowout?
Yeah, I don't expect the game plan, honestly, to be any different with Will. I mean, Will has had more reps in this offense than Barron has because he got all the 1 reps during the spring and a lot in the summer, and he's had plenty of reps in camp. So I have no qualms or issues with Will Hammond playing against this game. I think he plays. Let's just say he starts this game. I don't think it against this competition. Again, no disrespect to Kent State, you're still going to win by the same amount of points if you play Barron Morton or Will Hammond, because they're both great quarterbacks, but also the competition you're playing is just not good. And I think the same thing could be true for Oregon State as well. And so I don't think the game plan really changes at all, because I think you got a guy back there that not only played really well last year, but also showed on Saturday night in the Jones that he's as advertised, and he's extremely smart. He's got a good arm. He's fast. I mean, I don't think you're changing anything with him there. I do think that if you look at this, Barron will play, and I think he's going to play really, really well considering the injury, because I do think Barron wants to give it a go and does want to play.
Connor, one of the things that I do think will be nice is if Will Hammond does play, I think that benefits you not only for this season, but also next season. Once again, there's no real no way to practice live reps in a practice. Like, there's just something about banking in-game snaps that helps you. And Will Hammond looked capable once again against Arkansas Pine Bluff. I don't want to over-index on something like that, but it'll benefit you either way. We just want Barron to be healthy. We want to have a productive final season for the Red Raiders. And so, however the coaching staff chooses to pursue this, they're going to be just fine either way. So should be a good game, should be a team that you blow out pretty easily. And if it's not that's where I'll be a little disappointed. The other thing that I'm probably looking for, Conrad, on the other side of the ball, this is a bigger offensive line. This is going to be something where we want to see our interior defensive line probably step up a little bit. I thought they were great. I thought every aspect of the defensive line was really good in last Saturday's matchup. But what does it look like when every player adds 30 pounds? Let's make sure that they're still good in that regard. I want to see Skylar Gill-Howard. I want to see Lee Hunter. I want to see Anthony Holmes, Amorian Banks, Jaden Cofield. I want to see them still dominate. That's something that I'll be watching. And then bigger tackles. What does Romello and what do David Bailey look like with a little bit of added size? Once again, I would advise people not to take too much from this game. It's just really not a team that's going to compete too much on the FBS level. But maybe there are a few things, and I'll be looking for that in the first half.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see in terms of, just adding size on the other side of the ball if they still are as dominant. Obviously, it's going to be different, but I think that I really like the way that this preseason schedule for us, a non-conference schedule, has set up, starting with a team like Pine Bluff, then going up a notch, maybe a notch or two to Kent State, and then going up even farther from there to Oregon State. I think that's a good progression level, because you're seeing how this works from step by step in terms of bottom to better before you do get to Salt Lake City on the road.
And Conrad, speaking of that non-conference slate, something that I did want to touch on at least briefly, Tech adds a non-conference game with the Arkansas Razorbacks in Vegas for 2030. You push, and I think there were a lot of people, myself included, hand up. I thought we were sacrificing our home game in Lubbock to do a game in Vegas, and that was really frustrating to me. We pushed that game to 2034. We'll still play the Razorbacks, I believe, in 2031 or 2029. It's one of the years either before or after. That's fun to me. I like that. I think matchups with the Razorbacks are fun. good. Non-con matchups are fun. Now, I will believe that Arkansas will come here when I see it, but still, nice to at least know that 3 of the next 10 years we're going to have at least a really good, power conference team, and besides power conference, SEC team on the schedule. And for those who are watching on YouTube and even those that are on audio, it looks like Brennan dropped off. He's having some internet connectivity issues. So if you really enjoy me and Conrad's banter, get ready for a lot of it. But yeah, Conrad, just I thought that was fun. We'll move into over-unders real quick. I think there's some interesting ones for the game. The first one that I had for us, Cameron Dickey, over or under 100 rushing yards. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over there. I think Cam had double the carries Jacoby did against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I think that trend. I don't know that I technically want to see that continue throughout the whole season, but I think that continues this game as well, just because Cam's more the bruiser than Jacoby. Although Jacoby didn't have any issues running between the tackles, but I'm going to take the over there. I think that's a safe bet. I think he's just going to gash them just like he did against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Would you take the over under? Or would you push?
I'll actually take the under. I just think they're going to split Cam and Jacoby so much. And do I see them rushing for 200 plus yards in the first half when they're likely to be playing? Maybe they get some work in the third quarter. Maybe it's 10-31 at the end of the first half, and so they're still getting some run.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying that's a realm of outcome. So I'll take the under on the first half rushing. Okay. The next one that I have, 3 turnovers. Actually, I'll say 2.5 turnovers committed by the defense. You taking the over or the under?
Committed by the defense?
Forced by the defense.
Forced? I'm going to take, you said 2 turnovers or 3?
2.5.
I'll take the over. I think we'll get 3 or 4. I think the secondary is going to get more comfortable as the season goes on, and that obviously includes a jump from week 1 to week 2. I'm not sure exactly what their quarterback is like or what his stats were last week, but I think looking at those guys, Cole, Brendan, Bryce, and Dante and Marion, I think they're going to play. And I think they're going to play better than they did last week. There were still some mishaps there, but I think they're going to play well. And I think they could probably get a couple picks. And I think you see David and Skylar do what they do, right? I mean, we're gonna be all right. So I would take the over there as well. I guess I'm just overly optimistic for this game against Kent State. Would you take the under, or are you going over with me?
Yeah, I think the smart money's probably in the under, but I'll actually take the over there too. I think they're due for some fumbles, some tipped balls, some interceptions, some strip sacks. I think you'll get some of that this game. Now, the only thing is that the way I see this game playing out, I think you have the second team come in and the third team play a lot in the second half. And so what does that look like? So that maybe leans me toward the under, but I'll take the over just for fun. 60 points for Tech, over or under?
Over, for sure. I think this game, I mean, the high on Saturday morning is 77, or on Saturday as a whole, it's gonna be amazing. Zyler, Clayton, and myself will be in attendance for this game as well. So if you see us, come say hello. We'd love to meet the Shufflers. But I think I'm going over 60. I think it could be. I mean, it just depends. Are you going full speed? I mean, if you get a 60-point lead, you're just going to run the ball, right? Like, so I think you'll score. I think the score will be similar to Arkansas Pine Bluff in terms of over 60 points. I'm assuming are you going to join me again with the over?
Don't give it away. Yeah, I'll take us over 60 points, but barely. If I'm saying that, I'm going to say like 62 or something like that. Like I don't think you're getting in the 70s. Now you may get a whole nother quarter compared to what you got against Pine Bluff, but this is a better team than Pine Bluff. We're going to be wearing the black red black, my favorite combo that we wear at home. 30-7 in that combo since 2000. 10-0 in this combination since 10-0 in this conversation and 10-0 in this combination in non-conference games. Shout out to Brennan. He makes this look way easier than it actually is. Transition into our pick'ems. Last week, Conrad was our big winner, 7-2. Brennan went 5-4. I went 5-4. Clayton went 5-4. Conrad is the biggest ball knower on this podcast for right now. We've got some spicy games coming up: Iowa State, Baylor, SMU, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma State, Oregon, ASU versus Mississippi State, and then Michigan versus Oklahoma. I'll jump into the other 11 a.m. game, Iowa versus Iowa State. Who do you have, Conrad?
Yeah, I have been, coming into the season, I kind of had a meh attitude about Iowa State. I'm not the biggest Rocco Becht guy, completion percentage, but he's a gamer. He does it when it matters. I've been surprised with Iowa State. I think you have too, Z. I'm a believer in Iowa State, and the fact that they are at home as well against Iowa. I think that's going to be huge. Ames is going to be rocking for that game. I have a feeling that Iowa State may actually be wearing their not wearing their colors. They may go all black for this game. They love to not wear their school colors more than any other school in the country. And so I'm going to take, with all that being said, I'm going to take Iowa State to win. I'm not sure what the line is, but I will take Iowa State to beat
3.5
their in-state rival, the Hawkeyes. Yeah, I'll take them to win and to cover that. So, what about you? Are you gonna go the other side? Or are you gonna stay with the Iowa State?
So I was all over Iowa. The visiting team has won a lot of games in this series for the last 8 to 10 years. I was all in on Iowa's quarterback, Mark Gronowski. He looked objectively horrible in their opener, and that is shocking for a guy that has over 10,000 passing yards in his career, almost 100 touchdowns. Really bizarre, and that's just sent me the entirely opposite way. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to take Iowa State there. Baylor and SMU, kind of SMU had a sneakily bad performance. Kevin Jennings was not very good in their opener. Baylor will travel up to Dallas to take on the Mustangs. Conrad, who do you got?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to go because of how bad that outing was for Jennings last week. I trust that Baylor can get this done, and I'm gonna. It's a toss up for me, honestly, because Jennings didn't look that great, but Robertson had some moments too. So I'll take Jennings. Huh?
He had 400 plus yards.
Yeah, but he also had some moments that I was like, I don't
totally
know.
agree.
I don't know. This is kind of a toss up for me, honestly. This is so hard. I'm trying to. So 7-2 last week. I was really proud. I think what I'll do is I'll go with my head, not with my heart.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to pick the Baylor Bears to win this game. Yes, those words just came out of my mouth on this podcast. Yep. If you're shocked, let me know in the comments, but I'm going to take the Baylor Bears to win. Zyler, what about you? Are you going to go pony up or sick 'em Bears?
Totally with you there. I'm going to take Baylor. I think they bounce back. I think SMU is just not the team, and they're not going to have the talent in the trenches that Auburn did. I think Baylor gets in this game and they kind of control this game and pull away late. So other ones that I want to hit: Kansas versus Missouri, the border war reignited. That is some good old-fashioned hate. Those schools definitely do not like each other. Conrad, who do you got there?
Yeah, I'm going Missouri just with the trenches, the advantage that they have there in the trenches. I think Kansas, Jalen Daniels, he's a good player. I would not be shocked if Kansas won, but I will take Missouri just because of the advantage they have there in the trenches.
Not so fast, my friend. I will be taking the Kansas Jayhawks. I am a believer. I'm on the bandwagon. I think that they're going to win out, and they're going to bring College game day with them to Lubbock, Texas, where their winning streak will unfortunately end. But give me the Jayhawks. I think they get it done in this reignition of this hated rivalry. I think the Jalen Daniels experience is on full display, and they get it done out in Columbia.
Zyler, did you just channel your inner Lee Corso?
Yeah, in homage to the famous Lee Corso. He did a great job. Did you see all of his picks hit? He made every single one of them. He picked Florida State over Bama. Didn't miss a single pick on his last game day appearance. So shout out to a legend.
Let me stop us for a second. We know how everybody loves Lee Corso, right? Like he was a staple. I mean, he was doing College game day before we were born, right? Like
1987.
The fact that he goes, you said he goes perfect. I didn't actually know that.
Perfect. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was like 7 for 7, I think. He didn't pick it.
I need to hear your thoughts. He goes 7 for 7, his last time ever doing it. Does this show that college football is rigged?
No, absolutely not. It shows that Alabama has a culture problem. And to be fair, it wasn't like he was picking insane, upsets. The Florida State pick was definitely the most bold of the takes that he had, and so that one hitting was obviously big. And then he picked Ohio State, and they won, and they were obviously, that was a 50-50 game. But no. I'm
just asking.
ESPN would have not let the Florida State Seminoles pull that game off over their beloved Crimson Tide. We do all remember the 2023 playoff where the undefeated Florida State Seminoles were left out in favor of the Crimson Tide. So, tough.
Don't remind all the Bama fans that listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Moving, I almost want to skip this one. Oklahoma State versus Oregon. No reason to pick Oklahoma State, right?
No, I can't think of one. I spent all day trying to think of one, and I can't think of any.
I
Especially because that
can't.
game is in Eugene too.
Also, shout out to Dan Lanning. His response, I don't know if you saw this, where Mike Gundy was talking about the massive NIL discrepancy that these two programs share. And Dan Lanning had a really good response, where he's saying, we're here to win championships, and we know what it takes to win championships, and we're going to invest like we want to win championships. And he's thankful to be at a program that invests in that manner. And I thought that was a really, not necessarily braggadocious way, but a really humble way to address that. He's clearly thankful to be at a program, and they're going to do what it takes to win a national championship, not in a slummy or a sleazy way, but you've got to spend like you want to win a national championship. And he said, the programs that don't use it as an excuse for their losses. And I think I just really appreciated that. I like Dan Lanning a lot. Oregon's always been likable, but I think they finally have a coach that I think is like hard-nosed enough to where I take them seriously as a national power. I think he'll get a title for them in the next 5 years. I'll be shocked if they don't win one.
Yeah, and I will say I'm thankful that we're on the position, in the position like he is, that he's at a program that invests. I mean, it's whether you like it or not, that's not even the conversation anymore. That's not. I mean, that's not even. It's where we are. It's the reality. If you like it, and you have donors that can invest and want to invest, it's great. If not, you're probably not going to be very good, and it's not going to be very fun for you. So I respect Dan Lanning as well. I think he's a good coach, and I think the Oregon Ducks probably win by, I don't know, 35-40 this week.
Yep. Exactly what I thought. So, a much more compelling game. Arizona State goes down to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Who do you got there, Conrad?
Yeah, this is where I'm going to get accused of the SEC bias. I'm going to go Mississippi State going to Starkville. Jeff Lebby, year 2. Last year obviously did not go well for the Bulldogs, but I think they get it. I think they get it done. I think it's close. I think Sam Leavitt plays well, but I do think that the Bulldogs will come out on top again. But it could go to Arizona State. Are you going to share the SEC bias that I'm showing, or are you going to go Arizona State?
Arizona State didn't look good against Northern Arizona. I watched most of that game after I got home from the Tech outing. And Mississippi State was better than I thought in their game. Once again, single game sample sizes are easy to overreact to. I'm going to thread the needle here. Arizona State's favored by 6.5 on the road. I'll take Arizona to win and Mississippi State to cover. I think there'll be a challenge. Arizona State did not, once again, first game sample size, but they did not solve their wide receiver 2 problems by all the looks of it. And so I think there's going to be teams that can exploit that. I don't know that Mississippi State is exactly that kind of team, but they've got some athletes, and I think they'll be a good challenge for them. I think a lot depends on what Blake Shapen's able to do against that Arizona State defensive line in secondary. There's clearly a world where Arizona State blows out Mississippi State, but I think Starkville's going to be amped for it. I think they'll be up for the game, and I think it'll be a good challenge for Arizona State. And it's a big one for the Big 12. You don't want the last place SEC team to beat your champion from last year. Truly.
Yeah.
So,
but without Cam Scadaboo, I mean, truly, it's still so early to figure out what is this Arizona State team going to be without him. I mean, they ran everything through him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll see. Once again, single game sample sizes are easy to over index on, and so it'll be a good test for them. The final one that we got here, we got Michigan versus Oklahoma. I think game day's there tomorrow or this weekend. Who you taking, the Sooners or the Wolverines?
Yeah, so this game, before the season started, I was not very high on John Mateer. I did not. I was like, I get it. He can run. He's got a good arm. I'm like, okay, you're going from Washington State to Oklahoma. Played a really difficult schedule, not only in the SEC, but with this Michigan game as well. Last week, I watched a bit of the Oklahoma game. I will admit when I'm wrong, and again, there's still a lot of season to go with John Mateer and the Sooners, but he looked much better than I thought he would look. And so the fact that he's an older player than Underwood at Michigan, Bryce Underwood, I believe is his name. I know Bryce's recruiting pedigree is high. First game on the road in Norman. Norman is going to be absolutely electric for this game. I just think John Mateer's older. I think you're going to see Underwood get rattled, because that is going to be an intimidating atmosphere. So I will go with the Sooners to beat the Wolverines on Saturday Night Football in Norman, Oklahoma. Are you sharing my sentiment, or are you pushing back and going to go with Big Blue?
I think you're right. I think it's really a Venables versus freshman starting quarterback. I think that's just going to be a lot for him, what he's going to throw defensively. For all of Venables' flaws as maybe a head coach, he is still a very, very good defensive coach. And I think some of the wrinkles, and it's no fault to Underwood, he's just an 18-year-old kid making his first road start. I think it's going to be tough. Now, I do think Oklahoma is going to struggle a little bit with the Michigan defense. I think they win in a low-scoring affair, but in a fairly convincing manner, something like 24-14, something like that, where the game seems kind of close on paper, but it wasn't really that close if you watched the game. So that's what I'll take. I'll take the Sooners over the Wolverines in Norman. Now, Conrad, other things that we wanted to get into. Let's talk about the biggest game of the week: the Texas Tech Red Raiders versus the Kent State Golden Flashes. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, this is a really hard one for me. Obviously this is a Texas Tech podcast, and have made the case time and time again. Texas Tech's going to the college football playoff, winning Big 12 this year. So I'm actually going to go with no surprise here, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I think it's going to be a blowout again. I think it's going to be a really fun time in the Jones on Saturday morning. I will take Texas Tech. I'm going to go 73-14. I think they'll score more, because I think their backups will be in. Our backups will be in longer. I think they'll just get one. So I will take us to put up 70 on them, and I'll take 73-14. Thoughts, pushback? I heard a whoa.
No,
I mean, do you think they're not going to score 14?
I actually think, yeah, if you look at the game last weekend, if you consider, similar talent levels, I think that second half, or especially the fourth quarter, you could see Kent State move the ball a little bit and maybe us not move it quite as effectively. I'll take us 67-10. I think Kent State will score at some point. And I think they'll move the ball and potentially kick a field. It wouldn't surprise me to see them score 14. Now, I'd love to see a shutout. That'd be great. I just don't know that you're quite ready with your depth to pitch that against at least a MAC opponent as bad as Kent State has been. Just for posterity's sake, Brendan did have us winning 55-10, so he's a little bit more sour. I know that SP Plus only has us winning by 38, so don't be surprised to see Kent State be a little bit better than people expect, but that's kind of where I'm going. I think you've got a lot of points to prove, and you're wanting to dominate this season, and I think Joey will do that, especially in the first half, and put up a lot of points. So, Conrad, the people are clamoring, though. What's the state of the Kool-Aid factory? What do we got going on there?
Yeah, the expectations are still. I mean, again, it's just the level of competition. We're doing well, but the sales have not taken off like they can. I mean, you go into Salt Lake City, and the Kool-Aid that'll be flowing after that. You win that game, it's going to be huge. And so, the flavor this week is kind of dull. It's kind of bland. It's kind of boring.
Dude,
it's flashing fruit punch.
What is this sales pitch, Conrad? Get the people pumped.
Hey, we're not trying to win to win the battle here with the Kool-Aid factory. We're trying to win the war. We want sales to be steadily climbing. And I think after this week, I mean, they've been climbing, but they're going to climb every week a little bit until the Salt Lake City, the Utah victory. And so you can buy yours. We'd love to have you buy it. Things are going well. Flashing fruit punch. Get yours now at the link in the bio below. But make sure you also subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps us out a lot. So the Kool-Aid factory is doing well, but at the same time, we got to temper our expectations as this season goes on.
Conrad, I love it. We typically talk our top 25, but since we don't have Clayton or Brendan here, I know we've got some things to talk about. Texas Tech drops in the poll, and I know this is the title of our thumbnail. Do you think the Tech got disrespected? Is it something where, and I know that the AP poll doesn't mean anything. You hear me say that all year. And it's like you win by 50 or you win by almost 60. Do you deserve to drop? And it's kind of like, well, what did you actually do to prove that you deserve to be a top 25 team? I hear those arguments. Is Tech disrespected nationally? Your thoughts?
Honestly, at this point, I don't really think many people are thinking about Texas Tech nationally. And it's just because you played a team that wasn't good at all. You didn't play a team. I mean, now was the environment amazing? Yes. Did we play well? Yes. Did Barron's stats look good? Did Reggie play well? Did D-line look fantastic? All those things. Yes. I mean, it went really, really well, but I just don't think I think when they see Texas Tech played Arkansas Pine Bluff and it was 67-7, I think they're just like, yeah, that's exactly what it should have been, and they move on real quick. Like I don't think you're having national people watching these highlights. Like it's just not on their minds because it's like it's Arkansas Pine Bluff, and I don't think I mean is Tech disrespected? I, I, I don't know. Like it's just again, it's hard for me. I just want as Tech fans, I think what we're doing this year, at least I would speak for us, is we're just trying to take it game by game. We want the best. We think the best can happen, but we're just trying to take it game by game. And so is Tech disrespected? I don't really know. I mean, dropping one spot from 23 to 24 in a poll that really, like you said, is meaningless. It's not going to keep me up at night. I don't think it will keep you up at night either.
Yeah, and I don't think there's really anything that you could do to move up much more with the showing against. No, maybe you win 125 to nothing. Maybe that would impress people, but within the realms of reasonability, I'm not sure that there's a lot that you could do that would merit moving up over certain teams. Or there's other teams in this field and in this top 25 that are playing legit competition. Even if you're playing somebody like James Madison, or that's a legit team. That's a top 50 team in the country. That's way more impressive than who you're going to be going up against Saturday. And so, where I will be disappointed is if you go into Salt Lake City and you're not ranked. Like I think if you handle business against Kent State and then you beat Oregon State by 28-35 and you fall out of the top 25 or something like that, I think I'll be a little bit disappointed with that because there will be teams that are in the top 25 that have not done as much, but just have a different sticker on their helmet, and so they get a little more. And to be fair, they probably have earned a little bit more benefit of the doubt. But that's where I just hope that you can continue to maintain and build on the hype that you've created for the season, because it just creates such a frenzy within the fans, and it's so much fun. But yeah, it's just not frustrating, but there's just really not a lot that you can prove. You can really only expose yourself to a potential fall by playing Kent State and playing, to an extent, Oregon State. Now, I think that'll be easily the best team you play in the three non-conference games that you have, and I think you can show a little bit more there. Those will be guys that are legitimate players these are Power 5 caliber players that you go out there and you beat that team by 50, 60, that people will notice that. I just don't know that that's actually what's going to happen. I expect that to be a 20-point spread, something like that, not necessarily the 48 or the 50-point spreads that you see with some of these other games.
Yeah. So let me add another game onto the pick'em that we just did. Tonight is a night that will begin a long season of mourning for Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, I was born in Dallas. I am a Cowboy fan by birth, not by choice. It's just ingrained into me. The apathy that I have towards the Cowboys right now, especially with everything that's gone on, is at an all-time high. Honestly, I mean, it used to be it's going to be a playoff loss. Now it's going to be 7-10. That's what you just know it's going to be. That let's just go ahead and pick the game tonight. Dallas visiting the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, they might as well enjoy it while it lasts, because the Kansas City Chiefs are getting their crown back as the NFL's best this year. So, Zyler, give me a prediction tonight. The Eagles face the Cowboys. Is Dallas going to go into Philadelphia and pull the unthinkable with the most clutch quarterback in the NFL, Mr. Dakota Prescott?
Yeah, no, I had already locked in Philadelphia -6.5 earlier this summer, and that was before the Micah Parsons
this summer.
And they're now -8.5. I just think that and more than a touchdown favorite in the NFL is quite a bit. That's a big spread.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's actually a world where Dallas can score in Philadelphia. Now, Philly's got some young talent on the defensive line, but they lost a lot of their stuff on the back end. They lost a lot of snaps from that Super Bowl team, especially on the defensive side. I don't believe in Schottenheimer. I actually kind of believe in Dak. I think Dak is a good quarterback, but I know you don't share that sentiment, and that's not necessarily a popular
2-4 in the playoffs. Making what? How much is he making?
Sure. His contract is bad. Dak is a good player. If you moved on from Dak, you're almost surely getting a worse quarterback. Unless Shadur Sanders comes on down, and then maybe he's the future. That's my dream scenario, is that Shadur comes and then you just have the worst possible sports day of all time. But yeah, not really feeling too confident about our Cowboys.
I think the Eagles win by 10 plus.
Okay.
I don't believe.
People don't come here for our Cowboys takes, and we understand that. I wanted to close the show with some Texas Tech trivia, Connor, and you're going to be the only guy hearing this, so best of luck to you. September 6th, Saturday. That's actually a date that we've played on before. 2008, one of the best Tech seasons of all time. We actually went on a road game to another middle tier or group of 5 team, just like Kent State's in the MAC, and played a future NFL quarterback who happened to play at Nevada. We ended up winning that game. Michael Crabtree had a great game. Do you know who the quarterback was at Nevada in that 2008 season?
Did he play in a Super Bowl?
I believe he did.
It's Colin Kaepernick, isn't he?
It is Colin Kaepernick. Your Red Raiders defeated Colin Kaepernick in the Nevada Wolfpack September 6th, 2008, en route to probably the best season in school history.
I didn't know that. But yep, I will hang that. I'll put that feather in my cap because that means a lot to me for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it was a great victory for your Red Raiders en route to, once, like I said, a really, really good season. Well, Conrad, thank you for being here tonight. I know we dealt with some technical difficulties, so for all of you who you stuck through that and listened, we really do appreciate it. Thank you for tuning into our show. It means a lot, especially those of you that are here this late. We enjoy doing this for you guys. It's a ton of fun for us, but really it's getting feedback and getting to respond and talk Tech sports with more people in the community. That's really why we started this. So thank you guys for coming along this journey. Like Conrad said earlier, me, Conrad, and Clayton will be at the game on Saturday. We're hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll be down on the field for the pregame stuff. So if you're down there, come say hi. We'd love to talk ball. If you're up in the stands with us afterwards, we'd also love to talk ball. So really looking forward to that game. It'll be fun to have everybody out there. For myself and Conrad, thank you guys, and signing off.
He makes the catch. He's got